Today is a great day as Haute Residence is launching a new project. It's called Chat with Haute Residence Members. This is episode 1, and we have Debra Johnson from Atlanta, Georgia. Debra, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today.
Absolutely. I'm thrilled to talk with you.
And so how's everything in Atlanta today? It's a Friday. What's your weekend plans, Debra?
It's Friday. I'm hoping to go up to the mountains this weekend. If the weather, it looks like the weather is going to be nice. It's just starting to get warm, and I might go tomorrow and stay up there and come back on Sunday just to get out of the city.
One of the cool things about this is I'd love to learn more about, who Debra Johnson is. Debra, if you don't mind me asking, are you from Atlanta? Where were you born?
Actually, I grew up in Michigan. I was born in Pontiac, Michigan.
Pontiac, Michigan.
Yes. And then I was raised in northern Michigan. I went to college in the Upper Peninsula. And then my first job out of college was in New York City.
And what were you doing in New York City?
Well, I thought, the way to make money is to go right into corporate. And so I did that. And I started in management consulting with KPMG and traveled everywhere. It was great. I really enjoyed it, especially just getting out of college. It kind of felt like grad school. I moved from New York to Dallas and then to Minneapolis. And then I took a position with Coca-Cola, and that's what brought me to Atlanta about 26 years ago. So
what was your position at Coca-Cola?
Oh, I was in so many different positions. I was with the bottler for a while. I was in operations at Coke North America. And then my last stint there was in corporate marketing. And I supported our top 10 customers, and it was great experience. And especially then to go into real estate, that marketing just was perfect.
Yeah, and also because you were also dealing with customers, and it's so important, you're dealing with the top 10 customers of Coca-Cola, dealing in luxury real estate. That must have been a huge learning experience of how to deal with, very, very important clients.
Yes, though I was more on the strategy side, like in marketing, but still, I was still exposed. And I think that, and also, really honing in on project management skills, working with all different kinds of people. I think that just set me up. I've always wanted to be in business for myself. So just learning those building blocks really helped me when I did eventually decide to get my real estate license and try it out.
Well, let's rewind, because you were a corporate person, as you said. KPMG to Coca-Cola. Did you get sick of the corporate life, or what happened after Coca-Cola?
I did. While the consulting was really interesting and I traveled all over, it was so much travel and a lot of hours. So from there, then going into corporate with Coca-Cola, it was still a pretty heavy travel schedule, but I had a more normal life. Mm-hmm. But I still always had that craving to do something out on my own. And I really wanted to be passionate about being in my own business. And real estate, it's sort of been in my family throughout my life, a little bit here and there, but design and architecture is one of my passions. And I love it. And so I thought the combination, I could just try real estate and see where that would take me.
Were you nervous? Obviously going from, corporate, having a paycheck, having, the 401k to go into real estate, that's an aggressive jump.
I was very nervous. I did a little bit of both for a while.
Okay.
Just a little bit to kind of get my feet wet, just get the basics together, figure out my marketing, putting all the just essential tools in place before I went. And the brokerage that I selected was a boutique Buckhead brokerage. And I was one of the first agents. And the broker at the time said, "You've got to be full-time, Debra. You've got to do this." I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And within 4 months, I did leave corporate life and went full-time. And I have actually been full-time in real estate for that entire time. So about 17 years.
17 years. And so to rewind there, when you decided to get into real estate, did you have like a deal, or were you going in cold, or did you have like, okay, I know I'm going to sell like my uncle's house, so I know at least I can make a commission and get, you know, get the ball rolling? Or what was the move, if you don't mind me asking?
No, not at all. I think initially it was very cold, like I had nothing. But then I realized that I actually did have contacts with people, and realized how easy it was to make those connections and find out that people were looking, and that they, I guess they trusted me from the beginning. And so I did have a couple of lucky breaks when I started, and then one led to another. I just put all my focus on, I had one listing and just really tried to market the hell out of it and show what I could do. And then that led to another, and then another listing, and it took off from there.
So tell us about your first listing. How did you get it?
Oh my God, Seth, that was so long ago.
But come on, that's got to be something that's special to you.
Well, it was a smaller listing. I actually had 2 or 3 transactions in a row. Either was a friend of mine or somebody that I worked with. And then one led to another. And then what I did, I love telling my car wash story, where I took my marketing brochures and met with the owner of the car wash, who most of his client base was luxury cars. And so I asked him if I could pay for some space to put my brochures in the lobby area. Mm-hmm. And somebody picked it up and said, wow, this is pretty innovative, and I like your photography. Will you list my house? And that was my first, I think it was $1.5 million listing.
And that was during your sales pitch to get in there?
No. I got my brochures in there, and then a customer came in and was reading my brochure.
That's an amazing story.
Yeah, it worked.
So that kind of, you know, and so when you really think about real estate agents to be successful, you think they have to be in sales, have to have a huge background in sales, but your marketing experience is basically what helped you get your business, because it gave you the innovation to think of even going to a car wash, putting these beautiful brochures with beautiful pictures, and through that you got a call from a prospect.
Yes, just being creative, just getting out there and thinking outside the box. I don't think I've ever actually done any cold calling. Interesting. No.
So you've been very fortunate where, and that's good to know, because some people have to cold call. Some people are like, oh, I used to bang on doors. With you came up with marketing strategies where you invested your own money, because obviously to do brochures, to take pictures, it takes money to invest in that. So it must have been a little bit scary, because at Coca-Cola, you're spending Coca-Cola's money. Here, you're spending your money.
Yes. Well, and I had allocated, I knew I had so much savings to get started. And, you know, there are ways to get different, you know, when in working with photographers that specialize in real estate, they're, you know, they want to be competitive in their pricing. And so there are ways to, you know, work and partner and give them repeat business, and then you get good pricing. And so I could put a marketing piece together fairly, you know, inexpensively, and get it out there, even if it's a 1-page flyer. And then at the same time, be branding my name so that my name became recognizable. I've always had that in the forefront with my listings.
And obviously, when you got in the business, there was like a mentor or someone that you looked up to. Is there someone special that helped you get to where you got?
You know, I think that the brokerages that I've actually moved through 3, maybe 4 brokerages, and each one I really had a good relationship with the managing broker, and they're there to be mentors for their agents. And the first brokerage that I selected was working with Glennis Beecham, and I had seen her. She, you know, she's an icon in Atlanta, And I just love her work ethic and who she is and what she does. And that was the brokerage I wanted to go work for. When she opened up her office, I read it in the paper and I was like, that's it. That's where I want to be.
And was she everything that you expected her to be?
Yes, in a way, but she's also a selling broker. So it was really interesting because in a way we're kind of competing, but I just admired what she stands for and how she built her business. And so it worked out and I was there for a few years and then I was ready to try something different. You know, as agents, as you work for a broker, you're there for a period of time and then you feel like you might want to change or do something different, or somebody might be doing something more innovative, or maybe you want to go to a larger firm. Because like from there I went to Sotheby's and I was at Sotheby's for 5 years, and that was a great, you know, I enjoyed being there and really learning about luxury real estate. And then I took that to the next step with Berkshire Hathaway, which is where I am now.
And so now that you're at Berkshire Hathaway, tell us what makes going from doing flyers to now, I mean, this whole business is digital, social media. How has your marketing allowed you to evolve your business? Because, you know, if you don't evolve, you'll be out of business. And doing this for 17 years, you know, you go from newspaper ads to digital ads. Tell us how that has evolved.
Well, every day I have to say that I think about how do I differentiate against my competition. I also think about what is the latest, maybe it's technology or tools out there that I can take advantage of to help expand my business. And probably 4 years ago, I started very heavily in videography and doing property videos, starting out in the beginning, introducing myself, and then telling a little bit about the house, and then getting out of the way and let the videographer really show the best aspects of the house. That was game changing for my business as well as for my clients because of the exposure.
And it also, what you said at the beginning, it's also about, as you brand your properties, it's also about branding yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
And then through that, I mean, 17 years doing this business, tell us like your big break, like when you got your first big listing, like how nervous you were when the client asked you, do you have experience, you know, and you're going in and trying to get your first $3 or $5 million listing. How were you able to convince the client that you were the right choice?
Well, this is probably an example of getting a break into the luxury market. I actually co-listed with my broker, and I had only a few listings at the time. And so I really spent a lot of effort and time just making sure the photos were right, the listing was complete. We had marketing out there, any kind of marketing opportunity, whether it was print, because back then it was all about, you know, print advertising. And after 6 or 8 months, the seller said to me, when I relist the property, because we were getting close to expiring, he said, I think you're ready. I'm going to just list with you. And
How did that make you feel?
It was fantastic. And I just felt like the learning for me was demonstrate what you can do and then do more.
Interesting. And then how have you been able to be successful in such a competitive business and maintain such a great integrity?
Again, I feel like differentiating against my competition. How do I maintain? I guess it's just integrity and character and trying to do the best for my clients and walking the walk, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, not every deal is perfect, but I try to always take the high road and be optimistic and try to maintain, you know, everybody's emotions run high and just try to just manage through that to get the deal done.
So
And
Deborah, I mean, every entrepreneur, every business, it's not always positive things. It's not always up, it's not always downhill, the easy street. Tell us like a situation or something that might have happened where you were like, maybe this isn't for me, maybe I should go back to corporate America, or did you never have to experience that? Was it always, you were like, this is the choice, I'm good, and but sometimes you go, as any entrepreneur, go through learning experience or growing pains.
well, I mean, this is real estate and every day is different. And so there might be something that comes up and it's very frustrating, or maybe a deal didn't go through that I had hopes. It's more managing yourself and managing, and I say to myself, as bad as this feels right now, tomorrow something incredible is going to happen and everything's going to turn for the better. And that's all you can do. I've actually never thought about going back to corporate America. I've tried to like just get through it, but just sort of recognize that that's what real estate is about. You have highs and lows, and you just have to kind of just stay the course and know that tomorrow is going to be better.
And if someone asked you, like if I said, Deborah, I'm thinking about getting into luxury real estate, what advice or what would you recommend for me to do to give me the best chance to be successful?
Start with building your brand and figure out who you want to be, who you want to market to, where you want to market to, and then focus in on that.
And then you also said, which I liked, because that's what any business owner would do. When you started the business, you allocated money for marketing. Like how many months would you recommend somebody to have so that they're not stressed out about selling, and that they could go through, building their business? Because obviously, even if you get a listing and, it takes a month or 2 months to close, you might not get paid for, 3 or 4 months.
Right. I remember back in the day, somebody told me to have a year of savings. And I thought, I can't do that. There's no way.
Mm-hmm.
How am I going to have a year of savings? But the other advice was, pay off your credit cards. Just get everything as low as you can before you get started. And that'll take the pressure off, because if you're under that kind of pressure, it comes through when you're trying to get a listing or, trying to make a sale.
So you're, as we said at the beginning, you're in Atlanta, Georgia. How is the market right now? Let's go to today. We spoke a couple of times on the webinars during COVID. How is things in Atlanta post-COVID? How, are people buying? Are they selling? Are they moving out? Are they moving in? Every market is, there's hot areas and there's weak areas.
Yes. I think we have everything going on. We have a very hot market. It's a seller's market. We have people that maybe are not going back to the office, that live in town, that say, hey, maybe we should live out by the lake. So they're moving out. Meanwhile, we have people coming in from California, New York, Florida, a lot of out-of-state people, even Texas, moving here. So we've got this dynamic going on of new people coming in, some folks moving out, some people upgrading because they need more space, or they want that pool, or they want that gym now that they're working from home. I mean, every single variable you can imagine is causing a transaction, and it's happening, as with every city probably, but it's very strong here.
Do you think, some people are thinking that we're reaching a bubble, or do you think that this market is real buyers and it's going to continue to maintain, grow, or at least maintain that level of where we're at? Because, obviously we were hot during the mortgage crisis.
Right.
There's a lot of action going. And then, so where are you're saying the buyers? So they're real buyers coming in. They're not like speculative buyers.
No, they're real buyers. Yeah, they're moving. We've got the film industry here. So we have more and more work because productions are starting back up and they're hiring lots of people. or they're people from maybe California that have jobs with the industry. And so they're, instead of, having temporary housing here, because they used to go back, now they're getting booked one after the other. So they may be here for 2 years. So they're buying real estate.
Oh, wow.
So that dynamic is happening, besides, companies moving people here.
And
I
how are the prices? How are the prices? Are they up big? Are they maintaining their, where are the prices?
They're going up. We're very low on inventory. And you mentioned the bubble. I don't see the bubble at all. I think that this is going to get even, I think the whole real estate market is going to continue through this year, as long as interest rates stay relatively low.
Okay.
Yeah.
To go back, to get a really nice house in Atlanta, what do you got to spend? Like the minimum?
In Buckhead,
Yeah.
with a pool?
Yeah. Yes. Like I'm coming there from California and I want to live like really nice.
Okay.
I don't
So
need to live in the most expensive, but I want the pool. I want, an office. I want, a sauna in the house. Like, if you want luxury, what is like in Miami, the numbers of 10 million, 8 to 10 million now is
yes,
what you're going to have to spend to like, have something really nice.
yes.
That's like, wow, what's that number in Atlanta right now?
It's funny. I've seen a range. I mean, I could even go as low as 3 million. And there's a group of houses between 3 and 5 million that are very, very nice. Some, with a more transitional feel. A lot of homes still need redoing, but a lot have already been done. So they're in that range. But the really nice stuff in Buckhead in particular, and the surrounding area of Sandy Springs, now you're in the 4, 5 to 7.
Which are big numbers. So the numbers are getting, I mean, you've been in Atlanta for 17 years, so the numbers are getting big now.
They are now getting big. There's more inventory coming on the market in the 6s and 7s that I've ever seen. And I'm also seeing more sales in the 4 to 5, which is more common, when before, years ago, that was like a really hard selling price point, between 4 and 5. And then I have what I have branded as my 3 trophy properties that are over 10 million.
Oh, wow.
And the air gets real thin up there. There's not that many. I actually have 2 right here in town, and then I have one about an hour north in Gainesville. That's like 15.5.
55 million?
15.5.
Oh, 15.5. And it's in Gainesville.
Yeah.
So that's like 45 minutes away, right?
It's more like, it's like an hour away.
And why would someone want to live in Gainesville? What type of buyer would want to live in Gainesville and spend 15?
Well, if they don't necessarily want to be in the city and they want to retreat, this property happens to be 446 acres with a luxury car barn that'll hold 100 cars.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
It's a phenomenal piece of property. And they might helicopter back to Atlanta. They might be in the film industry and don't want to be around anybody. They just want this land.
And our restaurants are amazing. Like how are stores, restaurants coming in Atlanta? Are they still, I know luxury is getting big in Atlanta, is very big in Atlanta.
How are restaurants?
Yeah, like are more restaurants coming in? Like Miami right now, a lot of big restaurants from New York are coming, because a lot of New Yorkers. So, in different areas, like luxury brands are coming, obviously Atlanta is very big in luxury. Hotels are coming. So
yes.
Is there a lot of movement still on the commercial side and resident through restaurants coming into Atlanta?
I think with COVID and everything, it's still a little kind of wait and see, but they might be planning and I just don't know about it. I mean,
with COVID, are you guys done now with COVID? Can you go to restaurants?
We've always actually been open with,
Okay.
I mean, we've had spacing, or outside, but we've had indoors. Some restaurants didn't, of course, but Now we're back open again.
And so besides Buckhead, what are some other hot areas of Atlanta that your clients are asking for?
Well, I really, Sandy Springs is right next to Buckhead, and it's still inside the perimeter, and they're more estate lot sizes, and it's a little bit quieter and more of a tree canopy. I have clients that really like that area, as well as, which is part of area or zip 30327.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there's a lot more focus on Alpharetta and Johns Creek. That's probably out of my market. But I know there's a lot of development going on there. Let's see, where else?
What is the style? I know Atlanta has a
Brookhaven.
unique style of homes. Are they starting to go against those, the unique homes? Like Atlanta has its own style. Are they starting to build like contemporary houses?
Yes.
And so they're starting to add a little bit of, because Buckhead has its own style. Like a lot of the houses are very unique, where they look the same, but it's like unique, it's different, which makes Buckhead so beautiful. But now they're building the contemporary homes.
Yeah, so what you're trying to say is we have a lot of traditional homes in Buckhead.
Which is what I like, though. I mean, that's like they're big, they're like gorgeous houses and very traditional, big lawns. And so, when I went to Buckhead last, but it was like 7 years, you didn't see like, a lot of contemporary homes. You go to Miami now, you see a block, all brand new contemporary homes,
Yes. Well, we are, because the demand is there. People
So the
love.
demand is to change the Buckhead look and go to contemporary.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, the buyers that are coming in are wanting contemporary architecture, and there's a couple of builders that I know there are 2 coming out of the ground that actually went under contract before. One of them went under contract before they even started building, because the builder had built another one. It was her own home, and she was modeling her own home with this home. And when they saw what she had already created, they just bought it. And so that one closed, and now they're building another one next to it. And in fact, I just closed on a beautiful contemporary, which was the show house last year on Ridgewood Road. That closed yesterday. A New York couple bought it, and they're going to do all kinds of more work to it. So the interest and demand is there.
And then, so now knowing that, what are 3 predictions that you have for the real estate market over the next 12 to 24 months?
In Atlanta?
Yeah, in Atlanta, and then outside of Atlanta on the nationwide basis.
Oh my gosh, Seth. I think this market is going to continue into next year. It's going to be very hot, and I think pricing is going to go up more because of the demand, and hopefully we'll get more inventory on the market.
And what are homes going for per square foot around? Even though the lots are big, but like it's what is an average, like a nice size home? 5,000 square feet, 3,000?
Yes, 5,000.
And so it's, and you're saying about between 3 to 5 million, so it's between 800 to 1,000 a foot, give or take.
Yes, depending on finish level. It could be 1,000, it could be 350.
Okay, but obviously 1,000 is if it's top of the line, brand new.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen 1,000.
No, because Miami didn't break 1,000.
Yeah.
And now it broke 1,000. Now they're trying to break, like 2,000,
Oh my goodness. I've seen 500, 600.
Yeah, but a lot of homes are like 500, 600, but like the new luxury properties, they're trying, now they're all over 1,000 a foot, which is a big number.
Yes.
When Miami was half that, 6 years ago.
Yes.
And then I know Atlanta, through my experience, they wanted to make condo living in Buckhead and Midtown, like really luxury. Is that still growing? Is there any new projects going, or do people mainly like houses?
No, there are new projects, and I mean, there's one on Peachtree that's going up, and I know they're pre-selling. There's activity in Midtown. Um, I think the one on Peachtree is probably the latest and the only one that's, underway at the moment.
Do you ever sit back and pinch yourself on what you've built and the risk that you took leaving the corporate world to become a realtor and to invest, as you said, 12 months of your resources where you could have went out and traveled or bought a new car or something, but instead you invested in yourself? And do you ever pinch yourself to know that you took a chance on yourself and you succeeded?
Maybe a little.
No, I mean, I think
I
that's,
still feel like I'm working on success. It's like, keep going.
well, but that's what makes it special because, you took a chance, but it's remarkable to see that you invested in yourself without, real estate experience. And I think people should look up to this as a motivating story where if you're unhappy in your life, if you're unhappy in your job, don't sit there and be scared because you have a comfortable cushion, because obviously I'm not sure your salary, but it seems like you were probably doing very well for yourself at Coca-Cola. So it's hard to leave, having that comfort zone to having no comfort zone. Because in real estate, it's not like you get a guarantee. You're unemployed until you get your next sale or buyer.
That's right. I mean, it is scary, but at the same time, it's so rewarding. And the one thing I think a lot often about is that, you know, finding a house for somebody and they can't even believe I found it like on the third try or the third house, and have them go, oh my God, this is it. And we go through the whole process and they close in 45 days. I just helped somebody and saw it from start to finish. And it's so rewarding to see that and to feel it and be a part of it. And so each time I do that, that's why I love real estate.
And Debra, you've been a partner of Haute Residence for how many years?
Well, I was telling April, I think at least 10.
And so for me, it's interesting because I'll never forget there's a broker. He's based in Beverly Hills. His name is Aaron Kerman. And he's built an amazing career. And I never forget, he went to me and said, like, this is when he was young and starting out. He's like, for some reason, I see all the best names, like always in the same circles. And I try to go, to there, follow them. And I see Joyce Ray, Jeff Hyland, etc. And what I always think is, and that's something that's important is the successful people keep investing in themselves, in their brand. They don't take it for granted, because obviously at the end of the day, you have a successful career. Do you need to do Instagram? No. Do you need to do this? No. Do you need to do this? No. But if you don't do this, you're not going to continue to be number one. So how important it is for you to always be innovative and always invest in your brand?
Number one, it is the most important thing to me. And why, I really like partnering with you guys. I just always felt that what you do digitally was so game changing 10 years ago that I was like, I absolutely am going to invest with you guys.
Well, I appreciate it. But what I also appreciate more is people like you taking the vision, because, you've been doing this for 17 years. And so I think it's important to understand sometimes, people are set in their ways, but that's not successful people.
No.
And winners, all they're focusing on is winning, and losers are focused on winners. And I think that's amazing to see how you took a chance as an entrepreneur, as a lady, and it built an amazing career with no excuses, just hard work, determination. But what I also think is great is, that you basically took a chance and you invested in yourself, and you could have failed. I mean, at the end of the day, when you do things, you could fail, but that's life. If you don't take a chance, you're never gonna, you'll never know if you could be successful. And I'm hoping that, as the reason why we're coming up with these episodes, and this is episode number 1, is somebody could see this and you could be like a mentor. This video can give people direction, because there's hundreds of thousands of people in the same position, but they're not willing to take that chance. And you were, and now you've built a successful career, and you're looked up to by many, many realtors as you're one of the best in your area. So I want to congratulate you on building such a great business, but besides that, building such a great reputation.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
So great. Well, I mean, it's Friday night at 5:45. I don't want to take any more of your time. As you said, you might go to the lake, but this is episode 1, where Haute Residence going to be chatting with the leaders, Haute Residence members. And so it's an honor to have you to be our first guest.
I am so appreciative and so thrilled. And I also have to do a shout out because I think today is Kamal's birthday.
Yes, Kamal, my business partner's birthday.
He is amazing and an inspiration, and I just want to say happy birthday.
Well, one of the nice things is when the Super Bowl is in Atlanta, you were great. And so it's amazing to have great partners like you, but it's more amazing that you took the time to tell us a little about your story. So I thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much, and come back to Atlanta.
All right. Thank you, Debra.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.